Whew. Alright. Good to be back, guys. Good to be back. So it's been a weird week since I got back from Hume Lake. First of all, I got sick pretty much the instant I got back. Been coughing up all kinds of stuff all week. Had like 100-something degree fever. For most of this week, I was getting out of bed like this. There's so many things I can make videos on right now. First off, I promised you that short film review, and then also, as soon as I get back, I find out Comic-Con was last weekend. There's just trailers all over the place. So given my circumstances and how much content there is out there to talk about, it really would have been easy just to put out a video like this. Hey guys, welcome back. Oh gosh, I think I got polio. So let's watch the Wonder Woman trailer. I heard that was pretty good. But no, sorry, that's not happening. After the week we just had at Hume, and after all the amazing stuff we saw, there's no way I'm coming back and being like, oh wow, Justice League. Is Aquaman chugging a Corona? King Kong's pretty big. Aliens? Is that guy Irish? Yeah, sorry, that's not happening. Just got back from Hume. We're talking about Hume. Then next week we'll get into short film stuff. Well, let's get right into it, shall we? In all the ads and stuff, Hume Lake kind of sells it on the recreation and all the cool stuff you get to do in free time. But as counselors, the main focus for us is to help create an environment where these guys can grow closer to God. I'm no stranger to Hume Lake. I've been up there 7 years as a camper, and I'm seriously saying this has been the best year I've ever seen as far as campers who genuinely want to grow closer to God. I think we had like 14 middle school guys who stood up Tuesday nights, and it wasn't just like, oh man, I want to have this experience, even though it's totally awesome when God does show up in that way. But later that night, we all got together and all read the Bible together, and it was just so clear that there's so many guys in this group that genuinely wanted to commit themselves. We had people there who were looking at Christianity seriously for the first time and genuinely were just like, okay, I'm jumping in head first here. And we'll see how that works out now that we're down the hill and now that like kind of life is getting in the way. But I saw some of those guys at our youth group last week, and yeah, it looks like God really is just showing up in these guys' lives. There's just something really unique and special about God basically going, all right, here you go. Here's a bunch of different kids who are giving themselves over to me, and now you get to be involved in their lives. It's different and it's special, and I really hope that I can live up to that throughout the rest of the year and throughout however long I'm going to be involved with our church up here. It just reminded me of that verse in the Bible where Jesus says, the harvest is great, but the workers are few. It's just interesting seeing that come to life that Tuesday night. Just, oh wow, there's some work to be done here. Before, I kind of felt like my role was minimal in this area, and now just all at once, God was like, all right, here you go. There's work to be done here. It was just genuinely incredible to see people give their lives over and then commit themselves in ways that you don't normally see from middle schoolers. I'm excited to see what the future holds. I think a huge reason we had so many kids that were just ready to start committing and start going all out for God was, I had a great speaker this year. Dude, Robbie Quick is just a genuinely awesome person. He's fun to be around. We saw a lot of him in the counselor meetings. He has like this crazy gift to where like he can go from funny to serious to back to funny without missing a beat and just stay in rhythm, and he talks super fast. I mean, if you've ever listened to an audiobook or something and you flip up to 6 on the like speed chart thing, that's Robbie Quick. But beyond just all of that, like God genuinely was working through him. He wasn't looking to get like an altar call mood every single night. He was just there, present God's truth and let God work through him. I gotta respect that. He did his job really well. Also, been trying to find him on social media. Apparently his handle is @RobbieQuick. I haven't found that anywhere. If somebody can find a link to literally anything he has. He's a cool guy. I want to keep up on what he's doing. Another great part of this week was the band was awesome. We had a band called Minor, and their name comes to the fact that they want to become less and God becomes more. Their overall theme as a band really went with the theme of this week. And of course, they played, the typical songs. We had Good Good Father, we had Oceans. But at the same time, their original songs were actually really well done. Even the points where, like, yeah, I've heard Oceans a million times, but even the stuff that, like, all churches play, they added their own little twist to it musically. I don't know, there's just always a great worship atmosphere whenever you went into chapel. Alright, now we're getting a little more into what Hume advertises and what everybody's gonna be talking about. Recreation. Our team did not win. We came in 9th, mostly because nobody wanted to do the memory verses. Seriously, do your memory verses. That should be like night 1, everybody goes through it. If you want any sort of chance at winning, guys, do your memory verses. But even aside from that, we had a great time. I mean, the high school group hogged the 2 inflatable T-Rexes that we got, but aside from that, we had a ton of fun with it. We pretty much dominated as far as spirit points because we had Jake's Super Saiyan Sylvia on our team. This guy straight up screamed for 3 days straight, and then he lost his voice, but by the time we had his voice, dude was loud. Love that guy. This is a small complaint, but it seemed like in recent years, the 2 big teams have always been like these like abstract sounds. Like the last year where I think they had something like clear was like cops and robbers. Like that was pretty straightforward. This year we got the E's and the I's. Like a couple years ago we got the Ah's and the O's. It's kind of weird. It's hard to get chance for like those types of things. Speaking of chance, it genuinely hurt me inside that the team called Caw Caw did not make a Mad City reference. That is given to you on a silver platter. Every time we're in the street, we hear Caw Caw Caw. That's you win. You win the game. You win the game if you make that joke. But they didn't, and they came in dead last. Throughout both teams, team names are pretty decent this year, although we got stuck with Oink Oink, which is hard to kind of make a cheer for. But the games they had set up were awesome, and I also think the rec chapels were a lot better than I remember them being back when I was in middle school. There's just more energy, there's more like setup to it. Also, in middle school, like they don't have this in high school. In middle school, they always have like the top 4. They have this random character that interrupts every year. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that's going to Hume, and just you'll find out when you get there. But man, that intro song is the catchiest thing I've ever heard. We were just singing that song all week long. It's legitimately it feels like an old Julian Smith video. Just like you can tell they had fun filming that video and just creating that whole persona. Seriously, the story arc of the character that just doesn't even tie into anything, just is distracting and just a weird thing to have during Rec Chapel, was almost as good as the actual like theme story for the plays. Shout out to you, Hector. Good show. Good show. So this is the last part I want to talk about in this part 1 video. It's just, the community up there is just the best. I mean, we already kind of had an in where, like, Sydney, who was from our group, is working up there, but just everyone there is just so friendly, and all the churches just get along so well. Just remember, like, the week before, I was caught in one of those long, stupid YouTube comment arguments over how organized religion is evil, but just going up there, just like, it's the nicest place on earth. I don't know why we as Christians all can't get along down here in the rest of the world in the same way that everyone gets along up there at Hume. Just randomly walk up, give someone a hug, just pat someone on the back, tell a joke to a random stranger. There's just a general just love for each other that just we need to have down here. Disneyland lost its crown as happiest place on earth a very long time ago, and I think it's pretty safe to give that crown over to Hume, because, man, it's just, it's so great being up there, man. So you're probably all wondering, hey, where's the review of the theme video? You know, that thing you did 2 trailer reviews on. So here's the thing, I'm with the middle school, so we didn't get the video, we got the stage play. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the stage play. I think the opener definitely ended really strong. I think there's some pretty strong acting performances by the people who are working for the middle school group. I was kind of talking with Derek about this on the last day, like, I kind of feel like there's some things you can do with video that you can't quite do with the stage play. I could be totally wrong when it comes to this. Maybe the stage play turns out to be even better than the high school video, I don't know. Just a couple moments in particular, there's voiceover on stage, I'm like, you know, I feel like that might have worked a little bit better if there's a camera angle or something. I want to be a filmmaker, I don't want to be a stage director, so maybe I'm biased in that way. I tend to prefer film over stage plays. But I kind of want to hold off my review of the overall theme until, I think it's usually September when they release the high school video on YouTube, so that I can compare them side by side and look at the overall story and what worked, what didn't work. So it's gonna be a while till I get to that, but as of right now, coming out of the week, I definitely enjoyed it. There are 1 or 2 points where I'm like, I don't know if I would have done it that way, or if that really works. But the good far outweighed the bad in this one. Just one of those years where the biblical story they're going through just really matched up just super well with the theme they were going with. Elijah is the farm dog, God is the farmer. It syncs up really nicely. But again, I'll go into more detail over that in part 2, which should be, I don't know, sometime in September. Whenever they release that video, we'll see. But I had a fantastic time at Hume. I think this is one of the best years that I've ever been there. Being a counselor is definitely a very different experience, but just all in all, this was just a great year to go to Hume. So have you guys been up there yet? What week did you go there? Are you guys still going? Comment below, let me know. Also, comment below links to any of Robbie Quick's social media stuff. He's a hard guy to find. Intelligent Life short film review coming out next week, so again, last call to take a look at that before I spoil it. And until next time, God bless and stay saucy.